Hi, this is Chris, Video Game Dust Sleeves, and you're listening to the VGDS podcast with my co-host, Linda the Gamer Girl,
What's up, Internet?
and my guest gamers, Dan Cabdragon,
Hello again.
and Tbelly.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Let's start with the first segment, Sleeve It or Leave It. The first game is Zelda Link's Awakening for the Game Boy. Linda, would you sleeve it or leave it?
Yes, I would.
And Dan?
Yeah, great game, classic game, definitely a sleeve for me.
And Tbelly?
Of course. I mean, getting that box is really expensive. Sleeve that bad boy. Let's go.
The next game is American Gladiators. Tbelly?
What's American Gladiators? No, I know, I'm joking. No, I would not sleeve that.
And Dan?
I have to agree, I would not sleep. Did somebody actually ask for a sleeve for this?
I did.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, no, I would not sleeve it then.
Linda, would you sleeve it or leave it?
I did, because American Gladiators was the shit back in the day.
Well, how's this game? Is the game good at all?
It's okay. Basically, the controls are wonky. You're one of the competitors facing off against the gladiators, and you have to do all the stuff that they do. So you do the ball, you do the wall, you do, the battling and everything like that. There's only one game that they don't show, which is when you have to pile drive through the football everybody
yeah.
through.
Yep.
That's the only game that isn't on the game. But it's a decent game if you have a couple people playing and you guys can compete to see who can do better. But other than that, it's not one of those games that you can keep playing and have fun with it.
The next game is Super Mario Kart. And Linda?
Yes, that is a classic. You need to sleeve that one.
And Dan?
Yeah, this is one of my favorite games of all time. I put so much time into this game. This is my favorite of the series. I would definitely sleeve this game.
Tbelly, sleeve it or leave it?
Oh, same thing as Link's Awakening. That box is hard to find, very expensive. So I would definitely sleeve it for sure.
On to the next segment. This is a new segment, Logo Sleeve of the Month, and it goes to JLove81. All logo sleeves, including this one, are available for sale with proceeds going to the channel. Please DM me on any social media for details.
Hey, love clap. She is thebomb.com.
Well, I gotta say I was given my NES by J Love last year, 2018, and she gave me like the early versions of that sleeve. She gave me two Zelda games, Zelda 1 and Zelda 2 on the NES, and she put Zelda 1 in that sleeve. So I still have it. I'm looking at it right now as we speak, and yeah, that's a great sleeve. And J Love's a excellent person. She loves community. She hashtag promote positivity, and she's fun. She's just a fun retro gamer, and she's somebody that makes everybody feel accepted when they come into streams and videos, and definitely, one of us for sure. So yeah, J Love's awesome.
JLove is a good friend of mine. She is a very positive person. She is one of the kindest people I know. Please give her a sub and get to know her. You won't regret it. On to the next segment, which is Guess That Box Art. Linda, what's your guess?
Zelda. Awakening. Link's Awakening.
I already know what it is. You want me to answer?
Of course he knows what it is. Just say it, Tbelly.
All right, Breath of the Wild.
You got it.
I mean, it's my favorite game of all time, so it's kind of unfair.
Now it's time for Tbelly to talk. Tell us about yourself and your channel.
All right, cool. So, what's up, everybody? I'm Tbelly. So, I usually start everything, streams and videos with "What's up, YouTube? It's me, your guy, Tbelly, with a brand new," and then whatever we're doing, I say what it is. So, for today, I would say podcast. But yeah, that's what I usually do. I make videos. I do a lot of live streaming, and it's based off mostly retro games and a little bit off modern games, but mostly retro. I collect mostly Nintendo games, so I start at the NES all the way up to the Switch, and I even do PlayStation. So I have PS1 up to PS4. I just don't have a PS3 right now, so I don't do too much PS3. I do a lot of Sega Genesis, the whole 16-bit era, not really Master System or beyond Genesis, just the 16-bit era with the Genesis 32X and Sega CD. I collect 403. I do PC Engine, and I'm trying to see what else I have here. I guess that's about it. Yeah, that's pretty much what I collect for. I also have handheld stuff like Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, DS, 3DS, but I don't focus on that too much. I do more of the home console stuff. So that's really what I collect. And I'm pretty much just I stream mostly, but I like to do videos based off top threes, top twos. Sometimes I might talk about gaming info, gaming news. If it's something like brand new, that's like a hot topic. Maybe like, for instance, the Switch Lite. It was a pretty hot topic. I did not talk about it, but the new Switch Lite, the new model, which is a Pokemon inspired model, something like that, I will talk about when I get the new Pokemon game that comes out, Sword and Shield. So it all depends. I do all kinds of videos, pickup videos, unboxings, but my cream of the crop is definitely the live streams. I do most of the time adult live streams where we hang out and act the fool. We don't follow the rules. And like, for instance, a night like tonight, a Saturday night, or any night of the week that I'm not working, I'll probably take a few drinks, drink some beer, and just have fun and party. Just make it a fun atmosphere. But there are times where I'll take on a game like Ghosts and Goblins and just kick its butt, to say the least. And we take it more serious, and we'll beat those games, and we'll fight at it. And the one that's really popular, that made me very popular, is Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Everybody's seen the journey from Soda Popinski to Mr. Sandman to Mr. Mike Tyson himself, which took 2 streams to beat. And it was an epic journey, really epic journey. Took a few months to do, but we did it. We did it mostly on stream, and that's pretty much what I do. I take down hard games, and then I also have fun with regular games, and it's just a fun time. I always try to make it fun. But there, like I said, there are times where we get a little serious, where we'll beat the Punch Outs, the Ghosts and Goblins, Ninja Gaiden, games on that level.
What type of games are your go-tos?
Well, my main games are like action adventure. I like open world action adventure. So Grand Theft Auto, Zelda Breath of the Wild, traditional Zelda, Super Mario, games like Jack and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank. I don't really have experience with those games, but those are games I do want to play. Crash Bandicoot, and God of War. Like, my favorite 3 franchises are actually in order: The Legend of Zelda, God of War, and the Super Mario series. The main line, Super Mario Brothers 2D and 3D games. That's like my top 3. So that's pretty much like, kind of gives you a feel of the kind of games I like.
Like, what was your first game slash console that you played when you were growing up?
Well, it was actually the original Nintendo. I used to see my uncles play it, and they never let me play. I was too young. They didn't want me to play with it. They probably thought I would break it. I was excited about Rob the Robot. I was more excited about him and Duck Hunt than anything. But that was the first console I played. I used to just watch everybody else play, and eventually I got one for Christmas. I don't remember which Christmas it was. I want to say Christmas of '88, but I can't remember, to be honest with you. But when I got my own, it was definitely the Nintendo, and I got a few games with it. Of course, Mario Duck Hunt was like the combo pack. But I also got Ninja Turtles 1, Mega Man 2, and there was one more game, Donkey Kong Jr. That was like my first games. I still remember that. So yeah, that was my first console, my first games.
Do you have any questions, Dan?
Sure. What is the crown jewel of your collection? What's your favorite or most valuable game?
That's an interesting one. At this time, let me see. I'm looking at it right now, looking at everything. There's a few that have like high prices on it. I would say more like newer games that are kind of rare, like limited run games. But I would say my cream of the crop, the top jewel of my collection, it's kind of a set. It's more of a set than the actual game. I would say it's the Breath of the Wild Master Edition, just because it's pretty rare now. So that would probably be my most rare game. But my actually most rare item is for the Nintendo Wii. It's a gold Wii remote that came with The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword in a special edition set. But there's a nunchuck that goes along with it that was only available on Club Nintendo. So that's like the most prized item, I would say. It's the gold nunchuck with the gold Wii remote combo.
Yeah, I was pretty mad when I didn't pick up the gold nunchuck when it was available at Club Nintendo. I should have picked it up.
Yeah, it's very expensive to get too. I got it in a set with the Skyward Sword special edition. I got it together, bundled as a set.
What's your favorite character?
Character, Kratos. Kratos from the God of War series, the pre modern Kratos, the Kratos from Greek mythology. I love that character.
How long does it take you to make a video?
Well, with me, I due to my schedule, I do them in segments, so I never really do anything straight. But if I do add up the time, I guess recording, I'd have to think of an idea first. So I usually have that in my head for at least minimum of 2 days. I never can get right to it. So once I write it down and I set up the camera, the way I roll is I just hit record. I don't actually script. I'm not too good at the script, so I just go off the dome. And very sometimes I'll add a jump cut into my editing, but I'll just go off the dome, just say what I have to say. I might have to reshoot once or twice. And once everything's done, I would say that takes about anywhere from 8 to 16 minutes just to record.
How long does it take you to edit?
And then the editing time can be anywhere from 1 hour to 3 hours, depending how much gameplay footage I get, how much voiceovers I have to do, music. Because after, I think the longest process for me actually is when I finish editing, I think of what music I want to get into the video. So I have to think of the music, find it, download it. And after, I would say, finishing all that editing, uploading to YouTube. And then the funny part, the best part, this is everybody's favorite part, when you have to tag the videos, I would say minimum 3.5 hours to 5 hours. I mean, I think that takes everything from editing, uploading, and tagging and stuff. Because it's like after you make the video, the YouTube process becomes a whole other project in itself. With making a thumbnail as well. Almost forgot making a thumbnail, wording everything properly in your title, description, tags, and even after all of that, going into the YouTube Studio app and you do like annotations, things in that nature, end notes, end cards, sorry, not end notes, end cards, adding other channels and video recommendations. It could become at least a 3.5 hour process for me, but it can take me up to 5 hours, depending how much I'm doing on the video and stuff like that. And then with live streams, that's that's pretty much based off the stream, which I go at least 2 hours, but I can go up to 5 hours if it's really intense. But 2 to 3 hours is my average stream time.
Yeah, man, it's usually editing software that takes me the longest. It's like you do one simple thing and it takes forever for me, you know. It's just if I could have the editing software where it was just literally hotkeys that you don't have to memorize, it's just buttons you push, dude, my life would be so much better.
It takes me forever to edit the podcast. Adding all the images and timing it just right and editing the audio, it's a real pain.
I think I have a good one for you guys. I think we've all been here when you're starting your editing software. I just switched this past week to a new editing software, and just to make one logo smaller, I was sitting there for like 20 minutes trying to figure this out. I think we've all been there. Starting a brand new editing software, it's like the worst. That's like really bad, and it's almost discouraging because it's like, what am I supposed to do? I know what to do in the other software. Why I can't do it here? And even
I know
something
the
as simple
feeling.
as that. Yeah, exactly. It's tough.
What's the most games you have at the current moment?
Me, would say Nintendo Switch games. I have over 100 physical Nintendo Switch games.
Are you in the modern or retro more?
Oh wow, that's a tough question. I can tell you right now what I'm playing. So I'm playing Smash Brothers. That's like a all the time game. At least once a week I'll touch it. So I have Smash Brothers. I have Hyrule Warriors. I picked back up. Luigi's Mansion 3 was one of the latest releases, so obviously I'm playing that. I have Wolfenstein that I want to finish. Bloodstained, Curse of the Moon that I want to finish, and Contra Roll Core that I want to finish. That's 6 games right there. And the best part about the Switch for me, it's not actually good. It's a very bad addiction. They have the NES online and the SNES online. And every once in a while, I might just say, hey, let me stop in here real quick and I'll turn on a retro game. And now I'm stuck playing another game for another hour or two. So, yeah, that's what I pretty much play the most on.
So it's like me, both.
Yeah, yeah. And not to mention, that's just the Switch. I still have a PS4 that I'm addicted to.
What does Tbelly mean?
Well, I got that name when I was like in junior high. T actually stands for terror. So the T in T Belly's terror. So the full name is Terror Belly. And in junior high, I was a very, very mischievous kid to say the least. In the dean's office a lot, that kind of dude. And that's a nickname my friends gave me because my name is Michael, and it's a very common name. So it's like, especially in school when you're dealing with a lot of people, there's probably like 8 Michaels per floor. So people like to use nicknames, and like my friends gave me that name because I pretty much had a big stomach, so it's, for the belly, and the behavior gave me the terror. So I decided to make it short, T Belly. I thought it sounded cooler, like to say, hey, not Terror Belly. Let's shorten it up, just T Belly. And I've stuck with that, and it seems to be pretty catchy because a lot of times people meet me and they kind of don't forget me because of the name.
When did you become T Wario?
Well, the whole Wario aspect, as you know, Wario is not a original Mario character, but he's been around for a long time. So it's a long story, but to shorten up the story, Wario likes treasure. That's his thing. He loves treasure. I love treasure. I love gifts. And I remember playing a Mario Party game one time, and I didn't know who to pick. And I'm looking at Wario. I said, "Man, this guy kind of looks like me. He's pretty strong. Has some pythons. Has a little belly there, and he likes to smile and he likes treasure." I said, "Wait, let me pick this guy." And I was hooked ever since. I was pretty much hooked on him. It was kind of a physical similarity because I kind of look like him. I'm short. We have a similar stature, and I've pretty much been hooked on Wario. So he's like my video game counterpart as far as me as a person and a game character. It's pretty much Wario. I mean, I might love Link and Kratos a lot, but as far as defining myself, it's Wario, and I brought it onto the scene. I said, "Hey, let's do a Wario character," and a few of the buddies like Linda and Die Hard Gamer Bros. Somebody else, they were saying things like, "Oh, T Wario," and I was like, "Oh, that sounds genius." So I stuck with T Wario. I started spoofing gaming channels, gaming news, not gaming channels, gaming news, and I ran with that for a little while. I've even been featured in one of Linda's films, short films, and it was pretty fun. I love doing it, and it's a cool character to be. I mean, I actually laugh like him now a little bit, and he
Yeah, you
will be
do.
coming back. he will be coming. He will be coming back this Christmas. He's gonna do a year in gaming news. So there goes some early info. T-Wario's coming back for the year in gaming news.
You are doing a great job as T-Wario. I can't wait to see more of T-Wario in the future.
Yeah, dude, I remember you lost the mustache a little bit inside when you were in too many games. So you were T-Wario without the mustache.
I didn't even get to pull him out. I lost him, I think, on the way to Siege. I don't know where it went, but just losing the mustache, it makes a big difference. The mustache is key. And I can't walk around professionally with a zigzag mustache, so I need to get the cosplay mustache. So that kind of put me back a little bit. So I said, let T Wario let him relax. Let him take a little breather for a little bit. But I have a lot of aliases. Like when I play Castlevania, I become T Belmont. That's just one of many names and nicknames and aliases that I have.
Tbelly, if you could go anywhere in the world, video game wise, where would you go and why?
Video game wise, like an
Game
actual city.
hunting or an arcade or an exhibit or a museum or
Oh,
something
okay.
about video games?
Okay. Well, it would definitely be Japan. Definitely. And for true, there's two things. Well, there's a lot of things in Japan, but as a gamer, but I think the two that stand out the most is living in New York City. We have Nintendo New York. It's a key store and a key place for Nintendo fans. Japan's going to have their own Nintendo store now. Now in November, I believe it opened already, or it's opening this month in November. They have a Nintendo store there in Japan. So I would like to go there, as well as the theme park. I think it's called Super Mario World. I think that's the name of the theme park with roller coasters. And it's so a Nintendo theme. So I will have to go there one day to see the theme park and to go to the store.
Do you know if it's being built yet or is it open?
Yeah, I don't know if I don't think it's built yet, but they are building it and it will be there. And I can't wait. But we do have something coming to Universal Studios. It's just not going to be the whole theme park. It's going to be a section that's going to be based off Super Mario and Nintendo.
Any more questions, Dan?
Yeah, let me ask a couple questions. Yep. So when it comes to collecting, what kind of collector are you? Do you go after like complete and box stuff? Are you looking after to trying to go a whole collection, or just collect whatever?
Well, it depends the item. Like I would like a complete Zelda and Mario complete and box set, but that's tough to find. So when it comes to, I want to say games that come with hard cases like Sega Genesis, which are coming hard by, but Sega Genesis and definitely the CD games, I like to have them CIB. I love my CD games CIB. It's rare if I don't have a CD game from, I would say, Sega Dreamcast on. From that era, it's rare if I have a game that doesn't have a case. Sometimes the manual's missing, which annoys me, but it's okay. But I need to have a case. But anything cartridge based, I just want the card. I've been collecting a lot lately for the PC Engine, and it's a lot cheaper to just get the Hue card. And I don't mind. I don't mind just getting the cards. My NES games, I have a few boxed, but most of them are in cards. So I guess with the disc-based games, I really go for CIB or at least the case. And with cartridges, I don't mind. I just want the game because I'm a collector that likes to play my games. I hate to buy a game and have it just sitting there. It kind of bothers me, even though I have a crazy backlog still. With that said, but I like to play my games right away. So I don't mind going for just a card. But if I really like a game, I try to go CIB. So I'm still like one of my holy grails of gaming is the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time on N64 collector's edition. I still want that complete in box. I used to have it and I don't know what happened to it. I must have lost it. I don't know what happened to it. So that's like one of my top grails I want to get. So with certain games, I definitely want the box and manual. I actually have the manual and inserts for Link to the Past on Super Nintendo, but I still need the actual box. And like for Zelda 1 and 2, I still want the box. So for a couple of games, yeah, I do want the CIB. But like to play everything else that's out of my main series, I'm fine with just the cartridge. I'm okay with that.
So what's your source of games? Do you like trade? Do you look for bargains? Do you go like flea markets? Where do you find the best deals on games?
It's tough. In New York City, it's really tough. They everything's overpriced. Like price charting almost doesn't exist in New York City. So to get as close as possible to price charting, you got to try to Facebook Marketplace. That helps. That helps me the most. Facebook Marketplace. Macari is another place I've been going to recently. There's we have local shops. We have something called Video Games New York and JNL Games. JNL is very overpriced, but you can find some really good stuff like the CIB games I mentioned. If I don't mind spending a little bit more than the average price, I can get like a mint condition game in the box. But I just buy. I don't really trade. I don't have too many friends up here to trade with. So like most of my friends live out of state. So it's hard for me to work trades. But sometimes my friends in other states, I'll give you an example. Like my friend Megadan29, he was able to find a game for me locally where he lives, and I sent him the money, and he mailed the game to me that I wanted. It was an NES game. I believe it was it Astyanax? No, it was Jackal. He got me Jackal for a good deal. So things like that help me the most. Having my friends get them for me where they live, because everywhere else seems to be cheaper than New York City. But my main source would be eBay. After Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist and Macari, the next option is eBay, unfortunately. And then my friends. My friends are actually above eBay because eBay is like a last resort for me, because it's tough out here to find a good deal. It really is. Everybody's about the price charting and above in New York. They're above price charting.
Tbelly, don't forget about the conventions you went to this year.
Oh yeah, convention wise, this year, 2019, this was my first year of convention. So I went to too many games, which was a little above price, average and above. But Southeast Game Exchange, they had great deals. I just didn't have as much to spend as I wanted to, but I got some really good deals. I got F-Zero for $5. I got I could Blades of Steel, Mac Rider, Sky Shark, just to name a few. I'm looking right at them. I got some good deals. I can even give you an example. Battletoads. I paid $30 for Battletoads at Too Many Games, and once I walked into Southeast Game Exchange, $15 for Battletoads. But Video Games New York, Battletoads is $36.99 plus tax. So it shows you a little price range right there. $15 all the way up to $36.99 plus tax. So yeah, Siege is definitely a good place to go, and I'm excited. My next convention's the Midwest Game Classic. That's my next one I'm going to. I'm excited to get deals over there too.
Woo!
I'm excited. I'll be seeing Linda over there too.
Oh yeah, I got the tickets. So I'm going.
Is this your first time in Wisconsin?
I've never been to Wisconsin.
Yep. My first time there. I'm surprised. I thought my first time there would be to see a Green Bay Packers game, but no, it's to go to the gaming convention.
Dan, any more questions?
So besides like you sounds like you're a huge Nintendo fan, which is cool. But besides that, are you into like Xbox at all, or you said you have a PS4?
Yeah, I go crazy over Nintendo, but I love PlayStation just as much as Nintendo. So it's like I have a huge love for PlayStation. It's just with me, I think with PlayStation, the franchises aren't as dear to me as the Nintendo ones, just because it's like Nintendo rarely skips franchises. Of course, you have your Punch Out, Kid Icarus that get no love, but like every console has a Mario game, a Zelda game. So you see these characters, where with PlayStation, I've been playing PlayStation since the original, Tekken, Ridge Racer, Air Combat, Loaded. I was playing these games. So I love PlayStation, but again, like some of those games I mentioned don't even have other sequels. I was a big Twisted Metal fan. And after Twisted Metal Black, there was like nothing. There was one game after Twisted Metal Black. It was the one on PS3. So the thing with PlayStation, I love it, but I don't see the fan service for the characters. like how Nintendo does. But I still love Uncharted. I love the God of War series. Those are like my two favorite from PlayStation. And as far as Xbox goes, I just love different games. Like I know I mentioned PC Engine and Sega Genesis, so I've always been open to try the consoles. I currently don't have an Xbox, but I love Xbox too. Halo 3 is my favorite Halo game from that series. But I love from the current gen, I love Forza Horizon. I played Forza Horizon 2 and 3. I was really addicted to those. I like the Gear series. So I don't really choose favorites over the console wars. But my branding, I would say PlayStation, Nintendo, they like one and two, very close also. But I'm always open to new stuff, always open to try new games. And there's so many games I love. There's a game on the original Xbox called Blood Wake, one of my favorite games on the system. And nobody even knows what that is. I say Blood Wake, and they're like, huh? And I'm like, yeah, it's a game where you control like boats and you're shooting other boats. Reminds me of Twisted Metal, but with boats. And like things like that show that I just love all kinds of games as long as I'm having fun.
Well, how do you choose which game you're going to choose for which console? So, like, do you buy most of your games on PS4 or Xbox One or Switch?
Well, this answer is more towards the passive gaming because it looks like the future is going to be more united, where Modern Warfare lets everybody play together. The new Modern Warfare, there's cross-platform play, but usually, and you guys might laugh at this one. I play the way I have more friends. When it's a third-party title, I think about, am I going to play with these friends more or with these friends more? And that's how I choose. But here's the funny part. The like a few years ago when I had an Xbox One, I was buying doubles. Like I was buying Madden on Xbox and PlayStation because I had friends on both platforms. I was buying WWE 2Ks on both platforms, Call of Duty both platforms, so I could play with everybody. And then a game like Destiny, I was playing on PlayStation only because I had friends mostly on PlayStation. So in the future, it's going to be like just whatever console you have. But in the past, I went with wherever there were more friends. Well, and I do always buy console exclusives because it gives me a reason to say, hey, you want to play my Xbox? I have this game that you don't have at home because you don't have an Xbox, or vice versa. Oh, look at this PlayStation game I have, which you don't have because it's not on Xbox. Try it out, so people could have different experiences. Because I think gaming went away from that. If you look like right behind me, I have a Genesis and a Super Nintendo, and both consoles have different experiences. Where now it's like they're almost the same. There's very few titles that are exclusive to consoles. That's something I think we lost. Where in the past, it's like when you have a console, you're going to see a whole different library of games.
For me, it was basically what controller I like better because I do have smaller hands. So, as like I love the Dreamcast, but I hated the controller. It was a massive controller. It hurt my hands. Same thing with Genesis. It was three buttons and it was really wonky to me. Like I couldn't grasp the controller properly and not have my hands hurting at the end of the day. So I would go with the smaller controllers and I would love it. Like I love PlayStation's controller for PS1, PS2. I also love Xbox One's controller and my favorite is Xbox 360 as far as it's rounded, it's not like edgy, it doesn't hurt my hands. So that's why I picked it also is it's controllers that I pick for how I'm going to get the console.
So controller does mean a lot. Some people are the opposite. They'll feel like the Xbox is better. So I definitely like your answer to that because that shows like how everybody's comfortable, however people feel comfortable playing. That's the way they go.
How about older systems? You mentioned you go back to about NES. Do you collect anything, or have you, do you like anything older than that? Maybe.
Well, honestly, I didn't really have interest in anything pre Nintendo, but Linda made a video not too long ago for Halloween time, and she showed some Atari games I'd never seen, and it made me look more into Atari, and I realized a system like the Atari 2600 and the ColecoVision, those are consoles I would like to actually get one day because they do have a lot of games I would like to play. And I think every console, honestly, maybe it's a biased answer, or opinionated answer, but I think every console has games that people will like. And I didn't realize that till I saw Linda's video. I said, "Wow, that looks cool. That's a cool looking Atari game. Horror games too." And I said, let me look at like a top 30 Atari, and I'm like, these games are not garbage. These games actually look good. Coleco did the same thing. These games look good. Even the Jaguar, the Atari Jaguar, a system I never looked at, they have games that I would want to play too.
I agree with that. It's one of those things where you're gonna have people say, "Oh no, I hate Atari." Have you actually looked at the library? Have you actually looked at every single game that came out for that console? It's one of those things where, yeah, it's one of those things where people just are narrow-minded because they look at what other people say. Actually form your own opinion before. Try every game. You can find a ROM now, and there's Retron 77. I know a couple of people have had issues with it, but there's always some way to play the game first. And if you really do like that console, then you can buy the original hardware for it afterwards. I always tell somebody to try at least a couple games, and if you don't like those, try another set. You know, there's so many, like, even the Atari was one of the first to do 5-in-1s, you know, like multiple games in one, so you can try different cartridges. So I agree. Like, if you say you hate a console or a system, like if I ask you that question, are you just gonna say you don't like it? Actually, form an opinion. Try something new for the first time. I recommend everybody try a console you've never tried before and one game. Don't like it? You got it off on a ROM. You didn't spend any money on it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm older, so Atari was my first console. So obviously, I have a lot of memories of that console, and I love that system. And yeah, and it's hard for, I would say, like people today who are grown up on the really impressive graphics and online play and all this to maybe appreciate some of these older games sometimes because they seem pretty shallow or they seem definitely low technology, but they were fun back in the day, and I think it's really cool that all of y'all are appreciate that and seem to give these old games a chance. That's really cool. And yeah, I mean, Tbelly mentioned he's a PC Engine collector, and that's awesome too. That's my favorite system of all time. So that was,
Ooh.
yeah. So that was an obscure system to back in the day when it was out, and then the fact that that you're paying attention to it now and appreciating it, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, I love that system. Like it means a lot to me. I actually had a TurboGrafx 16 as a kid. It was used. I got it maybe 3 or 4 years after it came out, but I got a sweet deal, $50 for like 6, 7 games. And I traded it in 1999 towards Dreamcast, so I could get a Sega Dreamcast at this store called Funko-Land, like the pre-GameStop store. And I always wanted it back. So I actually got for an early Christmas gift, I got a PC Engine, the Japanese one. So I've been collecting for it now. And my Christmas gift to myself, I'm going to get the CD attachment and just keep going from there because it's a great system, very underrated system, which I'm happy now we're getting the mini version in March. And that's going to be something to open the door for a lot of new collectors to try it out, see how awesome these games are. And they might actually go and start buying the original stuff. It's a really good system.
Yeah, me and my friends, we had the Atari when we were younger, and we thought each game came out was like the newest technology. We thought it was so advanced, And I could only imagine if we were back in the days, back in like the early '80s, if we were playing an Atari, and also we saw like a PS4, the graphics, so we probably we probably wouldn't believe it. We'd probably be blown away, and just like we never would have dreamed we'd be able to play games that look that great.
Dan, any more questions?
Yeah, have you tried out VR yet, Tbelly?
Yeah, I had the PlayStation VR when it launched. Really good, really really good. You don't. I had just two issues with it. Issue one, where the standard PS4 can really handle it properly, but I actually bought the PS4 Pro once that released. It came out a little bit after the VR, within a few weeks, and I saw the difference. It needs more games. Playing Resident Evil 7 in VR was like, to me, that was like the best experience, but it's a scary experience. So, you know, you don't want to die playing the game. So, you know, can we get like, I mean, yeah, yeah, you're in the game. So the game has good graphics. So it feels like this person's really like stabbing you when they're in your face. I mean, it's great. I mean, to answer Dan's question, and honestly, guys, the VR is great. It's not for everybody. I know some people get headaches, but if you can handle it, it's a great experience. Oh, you too, Linda?
Yeah.
See, that's why I feel bad, because I feel like it just sucks that everybody can't experience it, because it is different. And some basic games are just, they're kind of fun in VR. Like a game like handball will be a lot of fun to play in VR, where with your controller, you won't want to play a handball game. But in VR, it's going to be fun because you're actually like grabbing the ball and throwing it. It's fun. It's definitely fun, different experience, and I want to see more. I felt like it was I almost feel like it was a tech demo, because most of the VR games are like budget games, kind of short games, almost like tech demos. I guess it's ahead of its time, but it makes me excited for the future, because in the future they should be able to make like full AAA game experiences in VR, and that's going to be fun. But they got to figure out a way to use less wiring, because I think there's too many wires for that thing, and find a way to make it more adjustable so everybody can use it. Because I feel bad when some of my friends can't play it, getting headaches. Like, there has to be some kind of solution to.
Anyone else want to talk about anything? We're about to end the podcast.
Well, yeah. Can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah, go for it, Tbelly.
All right, so this question is for everybody, for Dan, Linda, and Video Game Dust Sleeve. So what console are you playing the most right now? Because me, I play the Switch the most, but it's mostly because I play at work. So that's what I play the most. But what are you guys playing the most? What console? I would like to know.
Yeah, I have a Switch. I like it a lot. I don't have the Lite yet. I'm thinking about maybe getting that eventually, but probably the system I play the most is PlayStation 4 right now, just because I feel like there's the most games out there for that system. But I agree that, you know, some of the better, more classic title-driven, character-driven titles are definitely on the Switch. So it's definitely a neck and neck race for me. But probably I play the PS4 a little bit more than the Switch right now.
Currently, right now, I'm playing the PlayStation 4 more because of several games. Life is Strange, Fortnite, and I'm gonna pop in and play some Last of Us next, because I want to jump back into that and get myself hyped for The Last of Us 2. Friday the 13th is on both. That's one game that I'm playing on both. So I have the same amount of people on both systems, but I play all the games right now that I'm currently playing more on PS4.
As of right now, no, I currently do not play any consoles. I really don't have a go-to console because I don't have the time to play with a sleeve.
For the record, not to join the wagon, but at home, yeah, I'm currently playing the PlayStation 4 the most for the last month. I've been playing the PlayStation 4 the most at home. It's just I play the Switch at work, so it feels like I play it a lot more. But at home, my PlayStation 4 is like gets like 80% of the gaming time, and like 18% goes to retro and 2% to the Switch at home.
On to the next segment. Game of the month. Linda, what's your game of the month?
My game of the month right now is Friday the 13th.
Dan, what's your game of the month?
Yeah, it's funny. I was just talking about PS4 and Switch, but my game of the month is Gears of War 5. You were talking earlier about console exclusives, and this is probably the only reason why I have an Xbox is because of the Gears of War series. So that's a game that's I've been playing some on an Xbox.
And Tbelly, what's your game of the month?
Battletoads NES. Good. I'm up to level 6 right now. I'm about to beat level 6. Next time I power it on, I'm gonna beat level 6. So I'm about halfway through the game. Yeah, it's the
tough.
hardest thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Have you beaten it, Dan?
Ooh, I beat the SNES version for sure,
Okay.
but the NES I remember was really hard.
Yeah, it's tough, but I'm grinding through it. I'm enjoying it.
My game of the month is Super Mario Kart for the Super NES. Gotta love the original Mario Kart.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but my I feel like my skills have decreased over time. So like as I get older, I'm definitely not as fast. So TBL was talking about Mike Tyson's punch out. I used to be able to beat Mike Tyson easily, but I don't think I could even get close to doing that
My response time really slowed as I got older. I can't remember combos as much as I used to.
now. About Mike Tyson's punch out. I used to be able to beat Mike Tyson easily, but I don't think I could even get close to doing that now.
You have to watch Tbelly's video. He's doing a great job on it.
Yeah, I used to yeah, I guess there's a lot of combos to remember that game, and maybe I don't remember them all so well.
He can walk you through Punch Out.
Yeah, I should. Yeah, I should watch.
Yeah, I have a strategy video. I've learned to beat like most of the boxes really quick, but I'll say this: I not playing on a CRT. Once you get off a CRT, the game just gets harder and harder. And you want the ultimate challenge? Play on NES Classic, then you have a challenge. I mean, input lag fest.
Now, unfortunately, it's time to close up the podcast. Thank you to my co-host with the most, Linda.
Internet.
Also, thank you to my guest gamers, Dan
Yeah, thanks.
and Tbelly.
Have a good day, everybody, and thank you guys for having me here. I had a great time.
And thank you to YouTube and everybody that's listening. As always, don't blow, just sleep.